Hello, everyone. I am here today with 7 tips for your upcoming social media analysis essay. I'm going to try to cover each of these in 1 minute, so we'll see if we can keep this to a 7-minute video. The first tip is recognize the difference between summary and analysis. Summary is just summarizing. It's telling me things that exist and have happened. Analysis is making insights about those things that go beneath the surface. So summary is just stating what is there and what you see, and analysis is digging, probing beneath the surface. You can use an analysis sentence template, which you can find in our classroom in the content area. It's some janky little JPEG that I have of a handout with a bunch of sentences on it. That is tip 1. Tip 2, understand the conventions of a letter. You are writing a letter. So what are some things to do there? First, you want to introduce yourself. You can say you're a student at GGC, that you're analyzing social media for a project, that you'd like to work for that company one day. Remember, you're going to be writing it to an actual person at that company. Other things you can do that you might do in a letter, you might use shorter paragraphs than normal, than you would do in like an academic essay. You could use headers to make the document easy to scan. And then, just like with an essay, you want a nice closing that summarizes, but then you can say something like, thank you for your time at the end. Third tip, have some insights. If you have chosen a company and their social media and you look at it and you sort of like try to make some insights and you realize all I can do really here is summarize. I don't actually have any insights. I don't have any recommendations. Then you might want to choose a different company. On the other hand, if you look at their social media output and think like, okay, I can tell they're doing some things here. I can see they're trying to reach a certain audience, the type of audience and what the goals are. These are likely going to be the spaces where your analysis will come in. So you want to work toward that, and then hopefully you'll also have recommendations as well. Another thing within this same kind of ballpark is finding some competitors. So if you're doing Adidas's social media, you of course would want to look at like Reebok and Nike and see what they're doing, see how they're differentiating themselves, but also see some things that they might take from those other companies. Anyway, these are going to be the likely spaces where you find insights. The next one is to think about the structure. So once you have all that content, you want to think, okay, how am I going to structure this into an essay? Will you arrange it by social media, where you look at each social media as kind of its own thing, and then do a bunch of recommendations at the end? Will you do each social media, but with a recommendation for that specific social media with it? So A, B, C, as opposed to A, B, C, and then a bunch of recommendations. Or will you present all the social media together, so A, B, and C together in this sort of like, big section, jumbled kind of together by sort of what they're doing, and then do maybe a comparison section and then do all the recommendations together as well. How to decide? Probably based on the types of insights that you're having and like whether they're doing the same thing with all their social media or whether they're really doing different things with each one. The next sort of tip is pay attention to formatting. Use your images and screenshots effectively. Look at those samples that I have in the content area, and you can see how some of your other classmates have done it in the past. I recommend converting your files to a .pdf from a .doc. If you don't know how to do that, look it up, Google it. A PDF will stabilize those images within your document. There's also, you can Google MLA format letter to see the MLA formatting for a letter. I'm not exactly requiring MLA format, but if you use it, it looks nice. You're not going to have done it wrong. So if you're looking for something to model after. 2 more things, and they're quick. The next one is attention to detail. So more than formatting, more than any like, should use single space or double space or 1.5 space or whatever. More than any specific thing about formatting, I don't care, by the way, whatever looks nicer. I want you to pay attention to detail. So I don't want that. I don't want the spacing to shift halfway. If you wrap your text around an image in one part, but then don't do it on another part and it looks bad. You just want to make it look good. And you want to pay attention to detail. If your font changes because for whatever reason and it changes halfway through or the size changes, that type of detail drives me crazy. The same with, of course, proofreading your essay. That falls under attention to detail. And the last thing, the, I guess, seventh tip here is email me your draft. I will give you some feedback. I will read it. I will tell you what I think. If you send me specific questions, that would be even better so that I have something I know to look at, you know. Oh, I'm worried about this introduction. Can you blah, 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 blah. Okay. Those are 7 things, 7 tips for your social media analysis essay. Have a good day. And I am in well under 7 minutes. Take care. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Unit 2 of our course. This will be a 4-week unit starting. This is the first of the 4 weeks. So depending on when you're watching this, we may already be into the 2nd week. Anyway, it is a unit on evaluative writing, and it asks you to evaluate or basically write a review of a piece of music. That is the kind of culminating assignment. The first 3 weeks consist of discussion forums that kind of prepare you for that. And then at the end of the last week, so the day before spring break, which I believe is Friday, March 12th, you will submit a final draft of an evaluative of a music review. Anyway, there's lots to get to between now and then, so I encourage you to dig on into the forums, and I will see you in there. If you are in the asynchronous section, be prepared. There's going to be a lot of videos for this unit. I think I have 4 or 5 that I've already that I'm working on. If you are in the synchronous section, we will continue to hold Thursday class sessions via Teams. You can look for those invites, and Tuesday office hours, and lots of other available times to conference and talk. So if anybody needs anything, of course, send me an email. Otherwise, I will see you in the class, either synchronous or asynchronous.